Three, two, one. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the SECS Season 18, Week Number 2. I am Maut. With me tonight is NYJohn, and we're in the second game tonight with Baba Plus 4 versus MMD. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing well. Once again, we're both sick, but we had a really excellent first game. About 56-minute long game between Baba and Akira's team, which was V3. Excellently played game. So now we're getting into the next one right now, and man, it should be a good one. We'll have to see if the picks are pretty similar, or if they're not, if we'll see a Magnus ban, a Sven ban. Who knows? But of course, in the previous game, we actually saw a Phantom Lancer pickup, which really didn't. It could have been a lot better, but unfortunately, wasn't able to pull for V3, who had made a pretty drastic comeback. Unfortunately, they just weren't able to carry it on to the late game. So, already getting into the big ban phase. Bounty Hunter once again banned out. Thank God. Magnus being banned out. I have this giant hatred for that hero. I'm not sure why, but that's whatever. And two more bans coming out here for the ban phase, and then we're going to get to the pick phase, and we'll have to see what they're going to go for here. I would not be surprised to see Baba Plus 4 go with something like a Sven again. It worked pretty well with them in the last game, but they did need to get that farm up a little bit quicker. And of course, I think the counter to the Sven was actually pretty good. That Blade Mail Axe was just so strong. Blinking in there, Berserker's Call, we talked about it. Worked really well for them. Now, what do you think? I've never actually heard of MMD before. Do you know anything about these guys?
Nothing, but I think Glint from the captain perhaps has been in your channel or was in the channel at the end of the last game because it seems like all the games except for ours had finished early, which is to be expected after a 50-plus minute game.
Right.
And that's the first time I've ever seen them. So we'll see how they manage. The bans are very typical from both teams, and it's really hard to derive anything from that. We'll have to wait until the picks to try and see what's going on with these squads.
And like you said, he was in my channel, so Glint already having that early advantage, realizing, hey, we might know what these guys are going to pick up. They're probably going to pick up a Sven, much like every other team ever in existence for Dota at this point in time. Batrider, the first pickup this time around for MMD. Once again, that's a good pickup. However, I think it's going to be Jakir. Oh, and Undying. So maybe not the Sven this time around on the side of Baba Plus 4. Getting that Undying instead. However, Jakiro Undying, two heroes, two supports really that work extremely well. Of course, the Tombstone for Undying and the Decay, making life very difficult early on for any hero. And of course, Jakiro is just probably one of the strongest supports in the game. Macropyre, very underrated skill, of course, Jakiro with that Ice Path. And so they've got those two things going for them right now. What do they put around that? I'm not sure. Now, with an Undying, do you tend to play that in sort of a tri-lane scenario, or do you put him in the off-lane? What do you think would be better situated?
It's usually an indication of an aggressive tri lane because it pretty much is always successful. So it's a really nice approach to pick him up, and especially with Jakiro as well. You have a lot of good initiation with the Tombstone under a tower. You essentially are taking control of their tower. It makes it a lot easier to push, a lot easier to take someone down. So that's what you have to kind of prepare yourself if you're going against that. You have to prepare yourself for an aggressive tri lane. Maybe put in a safe laner into that short lane just to be sure that you'll be able to withstand what's coming out against you.
Absolutely. That's going to, I mean, yeah, we do see that sometimes, of course, putting that, the off laner into the short lane and, just making sure, like, something like a bounty hunter in that scenario, but of course he is banned out, so we might see something else. Then immediately picked up right now from MMD is Templar Assassin and Rubik, so they got the Batrider and realized, well, we're not going to, have to face the Templar Assassin if we pick it up, and that way we could just really control, could send Batrider either in the jungle or into that off lane, most likely into the off lane, have Rubik be part of a support tri lane, and Templar Assassin, of course, will probably go mid. Of course, these things can change around, as we saw in the previous game with the Templar Assassin going into the short lane. But of course, this is a pretty strong lineup right now from MMD, and it's something that I've seen a lot with just getting the Batrider and Templar Assassin. It's a lot of damage early on.
Yeah, and if I could go on a tangent for a second on a mini rant, I was watching a cast the other day, and someone questioned why someone picked up a Rubik in the first three picks, and Rubik against Jakiro is amazing. The fact that Jakiro has Ice Path, you could steal that off on the short cooldown and make the most out of that. That's really powerful, and Undying as well. It's pretty good. So overall, really solid pick.
What caster was saying, why would somebody pick up Rubik in the first three picks? He's been picked up in the first three picks literally almost every game that I've seen him in, or banned in the first two.
I'm not sure
I
who
hope
it
it
was,
wasn't
but
me,
I was
because if
watching
I
a
said
game.
that,
It wasn't you.
okay,
I know it
thank
wasn't
God.
you because I haven't seen your cast recently.
Oh, that's a that's a bit of a harsh, honest answer, but that's true, probably. And Rubik is just like, who would say that? Because he's picked up so often in the first three picks, and it's just like, why? But Lifestealer's the pickup right now. It's probably those guys that were doing the WCG casts, honestly. Did you see those casters that did the WCG cast that casted for LoL, but instead had to cast for Dota?
No, it wasn't them because I couldn't bear to watch that. That was really tough, and I feel bad for them because it's not the easiest thing, of course. But at least like read the names of the heroes before you get into the game. That's probably the minimal amount of effort you could put in, and consider yourself a
Double
deserving
Dragon.
caster.
Double
Yeah,
Dragon. Like, what? I mean, I give them credit for trying, but yeah, just be a little bit more respectful. Honestly, I think everybody at WCG was drinking a lot of booze. That like it has to be like when do you see Toby and Caldor casting FIFA? When does that happen in the real world? First of all, Caldor was probably the most like uber German I think during that entire match. He's just like, yes, Germany, they're winning FIFA. I'm just like, Caldor, relax. It's just a game. You don't need to like get really
yeah.
nationalistic about this. But that being said, Sven's actually getting banned out. He wasn't actually picked up. They picked up Lifestealer instead. They had the option to go for Sven, and they picked up Nakes. So that's interesting. I
Yeah,
like that, though. I appreciate that. Thank you, Bob Plus 4, because I can't tell you how many times people are like, yeah, we ran Sven the previous game, and it worked really well. Why don't we do something else this game because we have casters watching us? That's like, that would be huge, and it's really nice that they did that.
Nyx is really awesome here. I mean, overall, he's nice to have, and he usually gets banned out a lot in the second banning phase. So it's a nice pickup because there's nothing you can really put against him and say this is an effective countermeasure to Nyx because Nyx does have the rage, of course. If he gets his farm going, he's one of the best heroes in the game. The problem is that he cannot farm as efficiently, as quickly as the other carries. That's his only real drawback. Otherwise, he'd be up there every single game as the top carry.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. You see a lot of Midas trying to counteract, trying to get him that farm early on. So getting a hand of Midas on him might be something that they look forward to, or they could just continue to try to farm him without that. But he will be able to get some farm. Of course, that is a nice tri lane, though. If they're going to do it like that with Shakiro and Dying and Lifestealer, that's not the easiest thing to go up against, of course, with open wounds, with the match community from Lifestealer. They're going to try to prevent him from sort of initiating, but with that rage, it's going to be difficult to do so. Undying with the Tombstone, even Decay early on, like at level 1 or whatever they want to try to go with. So that's something to look forward to. Bands coming out, Tidehunter and the Puck once again. They actually, that's a respect Puck ban, I'm pretty sure, from MMD. That's pretty funny that they banned that out. You could have banned out pretty much anything else, and you ban out Puck because you saw in the previous game. I think that might be a mistake, but at the same time, I enjoy the respect on the side of MMD.
Yeah, it's not a hero you typically ban out, and I couldn't really see them running it again. I suppose because they're not really being pushed into that corner where they had to select them last game. Windrunner's still in the pool. There's a lot of valid heroes that they can fill that capacity with. And going back to that tri lane, it's just so hard to deal with a tri lane that has two strength heroes and then Jakiro who has a huge base strength as well. They just eat up so much damage, and for them to go down before you, it's just an arduous task to ask anyone to try and accomplish. And I mean, MMD haven't really showed us what they're going to put in tri lane yet. They showed Rubik, which is probably going to be one of the supports there, but they're going to need to get some heroes that can either withstand it or some heroes that you're going to thrive with off of it. And I'm interested to see what they want to feature their tri lane around if they decide to go that way.
Yeah, they've got some time to pick it here. They don't have too much. They're going into 40 seconds of reserve time. It's a good point. They've already got Rubik. They need another support, another care if they do want to pick up that tri lane. They have the mid hero field. They have the off laner field if they want to go with Batrider in that off lane. They could set them in the jungle if they want to. I don't think they will, however. But whatever they get could be something like a Faceless Void. I keep going back to that hero just because I actually love that hero so much. There's plenty of other carries available, though, in the pool right now. Sven, not one of them, unfortunately, so you really can't go that route. Looks like it'll be Luna, though, something I've seen very often as of recently. But the thing is, Luna, it's tough. Like, it's tough, certainly in a tri lane, just because, yeah, you've got the Lucent Beam, you've got a nice, you have a lot of damage that you can output, but at the same time, you're still pretty relatively squishy with those two heroes, with Rubik, with Luna. And it's kind of not, it'll probably be a defensive tri lane if anything. I don't think it'll be aggressive at all. I think they'll probably go up against an aggressive tri lane, and that might be bad, and might be a lot of kills going in favor of Bob plus 4. I don't know what they're going to add here at the end of it, at the tail end of this tri lane, but I don't know. I'm not sure about the Luna pickup. I've seen it work, but at the same time, it's difficult.
It's not bad. She's a great hero, and I think picking up a range carry was pretty important because Nyx is going to tear apart any of those big strength carries. Dragon Knight would be an option, but Nyx just rips through him because he ignores armor for some of his damage through his feast, I believe. And so Luna's probably one of the better picks just because she can work off of him and get some extra damage going on to Nyx if they're trying to run a defensive tri lane. I'm not sure. It depends what the last support might be, but they might want to try and dodge the tri lane altogether. The only thing is that Batrider and Templar Assassin can't really withstand it. So I think they're going to have to go head to head with it. They're going to have to pick up a strong support here that can kind of get his hands dirty and get in the middle of whatever may come at them. And Undying, Jakiro, and Lifestealer is going to be tough. Night Stalker added on the back end of that. Night Stalker is probably the most underrated hero in the game right now. When he's played to great effectiveness. He's dominating, but people are reluctant to pick him up far too often. I mean, the silence as well as just the overall damage that comes out of him early game, he can really set the tone for your team in any given game.
Yeah, and it's around that first night time too when you see that Night Stalker really thrive on whatever farm he's gotten in that mid lane if they decide to send him there, which I'm pretty sure will. Yeah, I mean, like, I agree with you 100%. He's probably one of the most underrated heroes in the game. I personally, he's one of my favorite heroes. He was one of the heroes when I first started playing this game that I absolutely just dominated with, and I went on a tear of just like 20 straight games playing Night Stalker and only Night Stalker. I was just like, yes, this hero is great. Getting that silence is going to be pretty important, like you talked about, especially against all these heroes that use these abilities, including that Barrier Rider, making sure he can't lasso, making sure he can't Firefly will be also pretty critical. Void is just such a strong chasing mechanism, such a strong slow, it just does a lot of damage in general, of course, and refreshing nighttime as well will be important as well. It's just a lot of damage. It's very tanky and a really good hero for ganks early on in the game. And with this sort of squishy lineup, you look at they've got two agility and 3 int on the side of MMD. They also pick up the Nature's Prophet with their last pickup, and then Storm Spirit will be the final pickup here on the side of Baba +4. So we're going to get into the game in just a second. And right now, is this going to be an off-lane Storm Spirit or an off-lane Night Stalker?
It's a safe solo Storm Spirit, and it's 100% an aggressive tri-lane from the Jakiro, Undying, and Lifestealer, because that's how you're going to want to run it. And there's just a really scattered lineup coming out from the Radiant team. I mean, they don't have any real team fight presence. They have the Eclipse in the middle of a fight, but they don't have reliable disables either. They have Lasso, they have Telekinesis, whatever he can steal, but that's the 3 disables coming out from that side. It's going to be pretty difficult for them to slow down this side, especially with the Undying, who can take over a fight in an instant with the Tombstone. So I'm going to be curious to see exactly how the Radiant can execute, because I think they've been outpicked, to be frank, and they also have the Spirit Bomb from Storm Spirit and Nyx coming out.
So Storm Spirit is something I've seen a lot being played very often as of recently, but usually played with that Wisp, honestly. I've seen him being played with the Wisp a couple of times here in SECS, SECS. So Zephyr will be on that Storm Spirit. He will probably go, like you said, into that safe solo lane. We're going to see J2 on the side of Jakiro. We're going to see Big Gun on the Lifestealer. Cookie will be on the Undying, and heading mid right now will be And once again, if you'd like to do the side of the Radiant, please go ahead.
Sure. We have Fudge playing the Templar Assassin, going to be heading middle. We have Glint on Rubik heading towards the bottom lane. It's going to be a safe tri-lane, it looks like. Game Thrower going to be playing Luna. We have Kami on Nature's Prophet and Chobo on Batrider. And Nature's Prophet going to head to the jungle. I suppose that's probably going to be where he's going to try and get things going. Jungle Nature's Prophet, I don't really like all too much at all, especially to play personally. It's very slow jungle, not too enjoyable. But in competitive play, I don't think it's that great either. And we're going to have to see what he can make against the Storm Spirit, because Batrider is going to have a decisive advantage against Storm Spirit in the lane. It'll be a 1v1 up here. And if Nature's Prophet can come in and try and get some kills before Storm Spirit picks up 6, this could be a really defining point for the Radiant if they're trying to make some progress and try and make towards the eventual goal of winning the game, because I think the tri-lane could go against them pretty quickly, and the middle lane is going to be, for all intents and purposes, a wash.
Yeah, that's going to be important. And you talked about Jungle Nature's Prophet. He just feels so antique to me. It's just such an antique thing to do, is just send Nature's Prophet in the jungle. I mean, it still happens very often in pub matches, absolutely. Like almost every time you see Furion, he'll be in the jungle if you're going to be in a pub match. But in sort of competitive play, you usually see him sort of more in that off-lane role. We'll have to see what they decide to do. They're sort of switching things up right now. Chobo's getting rid of these trees means they want to pull into this mid lane. That's going to be a huge advantage early on for the Templar Assassin if they can get it done correctly. But immediately Cookie wards it up right there with that sentry ward. So there's not going to be any pulling from this small camp, unfortunately. Chobo's still staying down here right now. It actually looks like it's going to be a dual lane heading up top with MMD right now, with the Luna and with the Rubik. Interestingly enough, looks like Chobo will head down to the bottom lane with Kami into the jungle. So they're going to avoid the aggressive tri-lane right now, but instead they're going to send Batrider up against it. Now, this could be okay. He has that Firefly to get out of bad positioning. At the same time, though, it really might not matter if you get all of these abilities on him. The open wounds is really going to be the most important thing. Flying up afterwards will be that Ice Path, and so we'll have to see if he can stay in this lane and how well he's going to do. But I don't think there will be any pulls happening right now into this mid lane, which is going to be huge. Already early aggression here on Chobo. They're diving this tower hard, and they can absolutely afford to do so. Big Gun actually has a DD room, but it's going to be gone relatively soon. He took a bit of tower damage from that dive, but doing a little bit of damage on a Chobo. He realizes he cannot go into this lane too far, lest he be molested by any of these heroes right now. So he does need to be careful.
That was because Chobo only started the game with 6 tangos, so he doesn't have all too much regen, so they're going to just try and burn it down and try and kind of win a war of attrition in terms of the regeneration. And both off lanes rather, are going to probably go in favor of the team with more heroes. Storm Spirit has to be very careful up here as he does take some early damage. That's as you would expect, but of course there's more pushing power coming out from the Dire side. So if they can take an earlier tower, they'll get a nice little lead on this bottom lane.
Mid right now, Night Stalker's in a bit of trouble. Fudge has been diving this tower for the past like 2 minutes, it seems like, and the Night Stalker actually does need to be careful. This tower not going to go on to Fudge until just now, so somehow Baba is not getting too much help, but he's going to pop up himself. He should be okay, but all of his regen is gone right now, so big deal. Zephyr, meanwhile, in the meantime, like you were talking about, getting hit, getting very close to actually going down. I'll have to pop up another salve on him as well, so already early on, aggression coming from the side of the Radiant, and this is looking okay for them. We'll have to see if Chobo can stay alive down here. He's already level 2 right now. The last hits, he's got 2 right now. He's going to try to continue the last hit, but there's going to be open wounds on him. Firefly coming in onto him as well. He's going to do some damage on Big Gun. Another sticky napalm strike. There's the Ice Path. Chobo's taking a bit of damage. Still trying to get out of there. And that should be the end of that aggression. Big Gun right now is taking a bit of damage. Going to go with that Magic Stick early on against that Bat Rider. He's going to pop up a salve as well. Once again, all that regen is gone on Big Gun as well. So actually heading mid currently is going to be Undying, who does pick up a Haste Rune. It's going to push Fudge back for the moment. Going to try to side blade just a little bit. He's going to give some room for the Night Stalker, the last hit, who's got 6 right now. 14, though, for the Templar Assassin. So already Fudge is getting the better of this lane down here in the mid lane. So Luna up in the top lane, getting 13 last hits, just barely eclipsing 1 more than the Nakes right now. Zephyr trying to get something. Meanwhile, I actually missed first blood. Down here in the bottom lane, they will get the kill on Chobo finally. Like you said, that war of attrition, it finally ends with the first blood going in favor of the Undying, getting that kill, and that's pretty important. Bat Rider will be back into that lane relatively soon, but he cannot afford to keep going down like this, or otherwise the aggressive tri lane will have worked, and that's not something that you want to have happen, despite the fact that you might be winning your other lanes.
Yeah, and that's really bad. If he keeps going down like this, they can afford to roam some of these supports, and that's the last thing you want to see if you're the Radiant team, since you are having a decisive advantage in the top and middle lane as it stands right now. So any movement that is allowed for them to make without losing anything in exchange is going to hurt you in the long run. And Nice does pick up his Gloves of Haste, so he's going to be working towards most likely that early Midas. And we'll see how quickly he can get it. If he can get it around the 6-minute mark, which is usually typical for a Nice, that's going to be huge for his team.
That'll provide him a lot of farm, and then after that, we'll see what he decides to go. He'll probably finish up his treads into that armlet. We'll have to see, though. A lot of different choices for him to go. Chobo looks like he will get open wounds. Firefly going to fly out, and there's an easy Ice Path here to hit. It will hit just barely, surprisingly, but Chobo taking a lot of damage. He looks like he will go down again. There will be a dive for this, maybe. Cookie trying to get the kill here, and will in fact do so. That's another one. TP rotation coming down, though, from the Rubik. They're looking to try to turn on to Cookie. He's taking a lot of damage. Is there Fabled? Is he in range? Yes, and he will get the kill there. So nice job to turn that around, but already that's going to be another death going on that Bat Rider, giving some more farm to the Lifestealer, of course, the Undying as well. But Rubik coming down and getting that kill. Nice turnaround there. Nice rotation.
Yeah, and now this top lane for Zephyr is going to be a little easier. Rubik having to move towards that bottom lane. And Zephyr on Storm Spirit versus Luna 1v1. It's not that hard of a match. I mean, take a good amount of damage from Lucent Beam, but it's much safer than having the Rubik there as well. So he'll be able to pick up a lot more CS now. And overall, this movement's going to benefit.
That will be important. They're actually already trying to be aggressive right now onto these heroes. Big Gun was very close to being taken down there. Nice Ice Path, though, blocking the way of Chobo with his Firefly up, and now Glenn has pretty much no mana, so they can't afford to keep going and looking for anything. What's important to note, there's 31 last hits for the Luna right now, essentially almost getting free farm up there, even though that Rubik did leave. We have Fudge right now with 29 last hits, so top lane and mid lane are going perfectly for the side of MMD, however, bottom lane not so much. Going to see a rotation from Glint right now. These trees are back up, so he cannot pull into the mid lane, or if he just tried to, it would be very difficult to accomplish, or almost impossible, I think. Bottom lane, though, they're going to keep trying. Once they realize that Rubik is gone, they're going to keep trying to go for kills here. Chobo doing the actual pull onto these jungle creeps right now, and that'll provide him some room to farm. But I think they notice this is happening. They have this dire ward right now, so Chobo needs to be very careful. He's going to back off. He doesn't want to take too much damage. He's actually going to try to contest this. J2 actually might go for a nice path if maybe. There he goes, and it's going to latch on Chobo right now. He's taking some damage. No follow just yet. I don't know if they notice that Rubik's not there. Chobo needs to be careful. He's actually going to Firefly away, and so he'll be just fine. Actually, Tombstone did pop, which is going to provide them the opportunity to sort of steal this farm and give it to Big Gun, essentially, which is what they need. Meanwhile, in mid, actually going to get a kill on the Night Stalker as soon as the Night pops. Fudge getting the kill there. That's going to provide some Night Stalker delay in his farm. His ganking as well. He'll be down for another 10 seconds, but it is the first night, so you can expect him to immediately TP to another lane looking for a gank here. I'd probably imagine he's not going to stay in that mid lane unless he wants to go on Kami, who does need to be careful. He'll have to back off if that TP rotation does come, but he's just pressuring that tower a little bit. And we'll have to see what happens. Night Stalker is ready to roam. He's going to buy a bottle up as well. Woo! Storm Spirit actually going to go down in the top lane. I've been missing everything. I've been missing pretty much every kill.
That was a huge misplay.
Jeez.
And another well, he just got killed by a Lucent Beam. He's just stayed too low on health and got just taken down by one beam.
Oh, Chobo down here in the bottom lane. Void coming in. Flame Break is going to push Big Gun back. Big Gun taking some damage from that Firefly. Big Gun needs to be careful. TP rotation coming in. Firefly doing a lot. Big Gun trying to hide. Here comes a TP from Kami right now, as well as Fudge. Fudge trying to go. Void going to fly up, but he'll be fine. Big Gun trying to right-click battle here. He's got Rage, but he's going to go down to Kami right now, getting that kill. There's a Void. They want to keep chasing right now. They should be able to get the kill on Kami. They do so. Abala is taking some damage from the tower, but he's okay. Tombstone is popped as well. Fudge looking for more, still hasted up. That haste rune is still going to be going for quite some time. There's going to be the pull from Zephyr. That'll stop them. Nice ice path. They might be able to get this kill. In fact, they will do so. So Night Stalker getting a double kill despite the fact that he'll lose that life stealer. And 5 for 4 right now. And man, that was a good rotation.
Yeah, that was really well played. On the side note, though, Luna purchased up her completed Midas at 5:15, but no one would let her have the courier, so it didn't get to her until 7:15. So she lost 2 minutes of Midas time. I was sitting here, clicked on her the whole time, watching it sit in their stash. I can't believe they wouldn't let her have the courier. People instead use it for stuff like bottles and boots. And I think that could have been a slight mistake. On the middle lane, though, we have a Lasso coming on top of Night Stalker. He gets pulled back into tower range, and he might actually go down here. One more auto tech flies out from Batrider, and Baba tries to juke a little bit to get outside of the range of the trap. Kami comes in with a tree sprout, and can he finish him off? One more auto tech will do the job, and he gets him. A kill on top of NS in the middle lane.
That was close. I was like, if only he had Urn charges. That Urn just got to him, though, as soon as the Nature's Prophet came in. But I can imagine just, like, you sitting there watching that Luna, just be like, give her the Hand of Midas. Somebody let her get the courier. Give her the Hand of Midas now, please. Someone just, like, sitting there, just like, come on, please. Just give it to her. She really needs that Hand of Midas. Zephyr actually going to try to go for that illusion room. We'll get to he's looking for the ball lightning. Glint going to deny it. Nice play from him. Zephyr not going to be able to bottle up that illusion room, unfortunately, so... but that's alright. 5 for 5 right now is going to be the score. 8:35 into the game. Night Stalker looking for another kill here in the top lane. They want to go on Luna. She's actually purchased up an Ogre Club as well as a Wraith Band, so she's actually doing very well in terms of farm. She's got 60 last hits at 8:45, plus she had that kill on the Storm Spirit. Her farm is absolutely ridiculous. She's going to try to TP out right now. There's no silence. It's not going to get to her. They're going to miss it, unfortunately, so she is gone. She's actually right back at the tower. She's very safe right now, and they actually have rotation coming from Fudge as well as Glint here, so they're going to maybe look to try to initiate onto Zephyr or Night Stalker. 2 heroes that aren't really the easiest to initiate on, but they're going to try to go regardless, so we'll have to see what's going to happen. They might throw a trap down here, but that would certainly catch them out.
Yeah, Templar Assassin also picking up a Bracer. So something you don't see all too often. They're actually going to walk into this.
The telekinesis, the Eclipse going as well. Zephyr going to try to get out. And they might both get out. I mean, Zephyr's doing a good job of leading them away. Night Stalker trying to get out as well. Barely going to make it. They're both going to get out somehow scot-free. Fudge looking for the kill. They were both extremely low. In the meantime, there's a trade down in the bottom lane. Night Stalker, excuse me, Nyx is going to go down, and that will go down as well as the Nature's Prophet will immediately actually buy back into the game. TPing back is going to look. There's going to be Nature's Wrath as well. He's still chasing. He wants this kill on the Undying, but I don't think he'll be able to get it, unfortunately. So Kami does buy back immediately. Sort of a waste of a buyback, unfortunately, and that he was looking for. Well, I don't know what he was looking for. He's got Gloves of Haste. Might be looking for Midas himself, or he could just be looking to finish up his treads, which I don't know why he wouldn't have done already if he wanted to. So.
Well, the buyback was only 350 gold, and he picked up an instant kill on Jakiro, so he almost paid for it with that, and then, of course, he got a couple less hits. Yeah, the Wrath of Nature picked up the kill, so he bought back Wrath of Nature and then TP'd down, and it just paid for itself, essentially, so now he can get back to farming a little bit better. Fudge is going to jump on top of Night Stalker. He actually misses the Meld Strike. A little bit of a misclick there.
Kami trying to look for more right here. There's going to the pull-in on Fudge right now. Fudge taking his damage. There's going to the refraction being popped off. Kami is in some trouble right now. He's going to be slowed with that overload charge. Here comes Chobo. Chobo does not have a lasso, but they're not going to keep chasing. Zephyr in some trouble. He's kind of low health right now. There's going to be the silence and the void onto Fudge. They're going to keep going. Zephyr trying to go on Chobo. They're both trying to get one another damaged right now. Chobo is trying to Firefly up and trying to get the kill there, but he'll back off, realizing he's under the tower. Now we have another rotation. Fudge coming in. Templar Assassin will go down. Big Gun was there as well as Cookie rotating in with that Tombstone. And TP coming out actually from the Bat Rider, who will be able to survive somehow. In the meantime, top lane, they're just leaving this Luna alone to farm, and they're just fighting amongst themselves. So Luna right now has 1,700 gold in the bank. She's got an Ogre Club. She's got a Hand of Midas. She took the tower. She's got a Ring of Aquila. And her farm is 79 last. It's at 11 minutes into the game. So, yeah, she's almost at 500 GPM. She's looking pretty good right now.
Yeah, she's doing a great job. One of the curious things is she opted to wait on the boots. She'll pick them up now, but she was very far up in that lane without having boots. And it could have been dangerous, but she knew where the rest of the team was ganking, I suppose. And I guess one of the main things is they're going to have to force some people to rotate over and try and contest her, because she's still vulnerable to ganks. If you jump in Storm Spirit as well as Night Stalker, you can definitely take her down when Eclipse is on cooldown. And it has been for the last 2 minutes or so. Now she's going to TP out, and they won't have a chance to try and take back some of the gold that she's been winning. Bottom lane will have aggression.
Bottom right now, they're going to go on 5 here. Kami actually TPing in, helping get the kill with Luna on that Jakiro right now. This is in some really bad trouble, actually. He's going to try to get out of there. Telekinesis up. He should be going down momentarily. There's the Lucid Beam. Luna getting a double kill right now. Now even more farm for her. And they're just feeding her at this point in time. So nice rotation to get her out of that jungle, but at the same time, she gets kills in the bottom lane, and now Night Stalker's in. He doesn't really want to go into this. He's not going to try to take this tower. There is a glyph available. There's going to be a lasso up over here onto the Lifestealer. Very poor dive for that kill. Doesn't really matter. Night Stalker now in a very bad position. He wants the kill on Kami. Not going to get it because he is sprouted up, and Luna will get another kill. Dominating streak for her. There's going to be an ice path in. They're just going to take this tower, maybe even look to continue on pressing this advantage. J2 trying to back off. Chobo no lasso. He doesn't even have really any mana. He's got enough to slow with the sticky napalm, but J2 should be able to get out. So now they're looking for the tier 2 tower. There is a glyph. No, the glyph has actually been used already when they try to defend the tier 1 tower. Glyph is not available for them. Undying gonna get the kill on Luna though. Good kill there. J2 trying to finish off the ice path there. Not going to be able to get anything done. There's a TP coming in right now from Lifestealer. He's going to be able to go on Glint. Glint will go down immediately. Lifestealer getting that kill. Fudge now trying to get out. Fudge in some trouble. There's the pull from Zephyr. Won't be able to get the TP off, so Fudge will go down right now. She's going to maybe try to refract up. She'll be meld up and try to... She is melded. Do they have any vision? It doesn't look like it. They're going to maybe just use their Static Remnant just to try to get these kills. They don't know where she is. They have absolutely no idea. She juked right around these trees, and they didn't see her, so she's melded right now behind these trees, and they have absolutely no idea where she is. Where is the vision? Is there going to be any vision coming out? Do they know that she's here? Static Remnant going to fly out from Zephyr over there in that set of trees, but they have no idea. Oh, man. Please, someone get vision.
Here comes the courier with some sentries.
Thank God.
And Zephyr's actually standing like right on top of him half the time.
No, the sentry doesn't have range. Are you kidding? Are you joking me? No, they don't have range. Fudge might get out of here somehow with his life. Oh my gosh, he's gonna run right now. They ping on her. It's too late. Fudge, you should be able to get out of here unless they rotate in with Night Stalker. Night Stalker's trying to get his way over there. TP coming in from Kami, actually moving to try to save his life. Night Stalker kind of in a bad position. Silence onto Kami right now. No Sprout available. Here comes Chobo as well with the lasso. Lasso onto the Night Stalker. They're gonna be able to turn this around. Sort of Benny Hill theme music going on right now as Fudge stays alive. Cookie really wants something. He's been working for this his entire life. Not going to be able to get it. Maybe there's the pull onto Kami. Kami now in a bad position. Flame Break going to save his life for the moment. They want Cookie. Is he going to be able to get out? There's the telekinesis on Zephyr. He's got no mana to ball lightning away. He's going to go down as well. They're turning this away somehow. Fudge is still barely alive. He's actually taking damage from the Darkshore Warlord. Going to meld up. He'll be fine though. And what? Serious?
I'm not sure, but this is something else. And then Lifestealer does actually drop on the bottom lane to a solo kill from Luna alone. So, I mean, I'm not sure what's going on. This is not the same team we saw last game.
No, this isn't. Not at all, man. What happened?
Yeah, they're playing really sloppily. And, I mean, I mentioned before the game that there just wasn't team fight on the Radiant side. I did not know that they wouldn't need it. There's just no coherence to any of these engagements. They have kind of what I would evaluate as a pub stomp team. They have a lot of heroes that can deal a lot of damage. They don't have the key disables, and they're really just making the most of it right now. Nobody can stand against the farm of Luna, let alone the damage coming in from Templar Assassin and Bat Rider as well. Things are just, everything's going the way of the Radiant.
let's think about this. This is with a dual lane Luna right now, sitting at 608 GPM somehow. They're going to try to contest this tier 2 tower. Luna's sitting up on the high ground with Lunar Eclipse. She's going to go right in. She's going to use that Lunar Eclipse. There it goes. There's the damage. Night Stalker's going to get killed immediately. J2 is next. There's a double kill really quickly. They're going to go on Cookie next. There's going to be a lasso on the backside onto Zephyr. Invest onto him as well. So he's going to try to invest in there, do some damage. Not nearly enough. This might be a full team wipe if they can get Zephyr, who's trying to bottle up. He's going to ball lightning away. He'll be the only survivor to that massacre. Luna with a triple kill. It's like, this is over, I think, at 15 minutes into the game. Luna is at almost 700 GPM right now. I have the GPM chart up the entire time. She's got like a BKB. I mean, she has a Midas that she can use right now. There it goes.
Yeah, they have Midas on Nature's Prophet too, so he's making tons of money. He has a mech as well. So everything's going in favor of the Radiant, and this has just been a complete stomp. This game's going to be over within the next 5 minutes or so, the way it's going. In fact, they might take a Rex right here.
It's just like a far cry from what we saw in the previous game, 6 minutes into, like, what happened? This is a massive clash between games, and I think Kuya in chat said it best. Womp womp. Yes, womp womp. Zephyr's going to actually ball lightning in, looking to go on Glenn. He's taking too much damage, though. He can't afford to stand there. Macro Power going to fly up. There's the Tombstone as well, which was stolen, by the way, and it's still going up on the side of the Radiant. Cookie's going to go down for sure. He, in fact, is going to die. That is the first dive. Chobo now taking a ton of tower damage. They're only, like, level freaking 13, so they're diving, like, towers. The tier 4 towers, by the way, at 60 minutes of the game, but they're going to wipe the team regardless. 100% alive is Big Gun, and that's it. I mean, this game is done. For all intents and purposes, this game's over. So, what the fuck happened? I mean, what?
I don't even know. Templar Assassin didn't even go for a blind. She picked up a Drums of Endurance. It's not even like they did anything
this doesn't even make
unusual.
sense.
They just straight out executed them. They played better than them. They won on all fronts. The top lane, the bottom lane, the tower was still standing. There was an aggressive tri lane down there, and they couldn't take it down. And GG's called.
17:23 was the time of the GG call, and I am scratching my head right now in so many different ways. I mean, I guess we'll get into the next game for you guys. That was a rather quick one. Once again, I'm Maut. Thank you for joining us here on Dota. With me tonight is NYJohn. NYJohn, you can follow him at twitter.com/NYJohnTV and, of course, twitch.tv/NYJohnTV. And anything you want to say after this game before we head out of here for the next one?
Really impressive effort from the Radiant. What was their team name? I forgot.
MMD, I guess.
MMD. Okay, yeah. And Glint, the captain, definitely got those secret strategies from the chat or watching the end of the last video. And that must have been why they were able to stomp so hard.
I guess so, man, because I don't think if there was any other way they could have accomplished that. Just to be sure that you guys noticed, this GPM for the Luna was at about 700 right before this game ended. But that being said, we're going to get into the next one and see if they can maybe continue with their dominance here. Once again, thanks for joining us, guys. We'll be right back.